Hello everyone, welcome back. We're doing another little Sims 4 speed build today, but I have to tell you that I have received some of the pack codes for The Sims 4 for free from the EA Creator Network. Not all of them, not even a lot of them, just some of them. So yeah, let's get into the build. It is a fairy house slash castle type thing. I saw this little tiny ceramic fairy house. It was just the two towers. Well, you'll see in a few minutes that I add a third tower on, and you'll see about halfway through the video why I added a third tower on, but I'll explain it a little bit better when that happens. But as it stands right now, it's a little ceramic fairy house, but especially after I added the third tower onto it, my daughter said it looks more like a little castle than a house. So I'm calling it the Fairy Castle. Also, this is probably one of the most involved builds I have made, maybe ever, but certainly recently. I really went all out for this one, and that's why it is sped up so much faster than my typical videos. I'm very sorry about that. I had no choice. Even sped up at slightly faster than my normal rate. So in the video editing software I use, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 10 that you can, like level 10, that you can speed the video up to. I usually use level 7 or level 7.5 if it's a little bit bigger of a build, so that it's not so fast that it gives people headaches or whatever, but so that it's not so slow that it's an hour long video, you know what I mean? This one I had to speed up to level 8, and even that was kind of slow, so I sped it up to level 8.5, which was still really long. It was 52 minutes. So I ended up cutting a lot out, and you'll see as we go on. I show you bits and pieces of building the garden around the towers, but I skip a lot of it because it's fairly repetitive. So I didn't think I needed to show literally putting every single bush down. You know what I mean? I definitely made sure to show the important things, and definitely the inside of the house and the apothecary stand or herbalist stand or whatever. Right now it's set up for herbalism if you have outdoor retreat with a desk in there. But once Enchanted by Nature comes out, you can replace the desk with the apothecary like table thingy and do both in there. And, other such things like that. I figure seeing the garden and some of the placement of things would be enough during the speed build portion. Obviously, we'll do a little walkthrough at the end, and you'll get a closer look at everything. The other thing I should mention is I started out on a really big lot, and then literally right there, I'm like, this lot is not cozy. It's a little bit too big, and it makes me want to spread everything out further, and that's not what I'm going for with this build. I'm going for very tight, close together, cozy vibes. So I wanted to move to a smaller lot. I want to say this one is a 20 by 30, but I'm pretty sure it's a 20 by 30, and the one I started out on was like a 40 by 50 or something like that. So definitely cozier, more compact, and this one is more surrounded by trees, which gives the effect that I was going for, which was cozy little forest dwelling type thing. It may not look like it right here, but don't worry. There will be lots of room to grow lots of flowers, lots of herbs, lots of whatever else is needed for both apothecary and herbalism. I think in this case, the way The Sims is doing it, they are kind of one and the same. It's a little annoying to me personally to have two different herbalism sort of systems running separately but at the same time, and there's probably not gonna be any crossover between them. So yeah, it's kind of annoying, but I look at it this way. Really, in reality, you just need to add one more appliance. So the apothecary stuff will be like a desk table type of thing, whereas the herbalism stuff is done, I think, almost exclusively on the stove. I'm pretty sure it's all done on the stove. So as long as you have a stove and the apothecary desk table thing, you can do both, and they can work mostly together. At least that's what I'm telling myself anyways, that they can work together even though there isn't gonna be a lot of crossover between them. You know what I mean? So yeah, I made a little hut here, and that is the Crystal Creations yard sale table there. I did not test the yard sale table. It was the only thing I didn't test. I was so worried about Sims being able to fully and properly use the house that I didn't even think to test the yard sale table. I'm fairly certain it should work though. If not, it can just be moved outside of those posts so it is truly on the front of the little hut, and then it'll totally be fine. But I think it's fine where it's at as well. Yeah, I'm really sorry. It's the one thing I forgot to test. I'm not used to building builds like this where things need to be tested because they're put into places they're not typically meant to be put and might not typically work in. So, yeah, I guess next time I just have to remind myself to do some better testing. Sorry about that. But anyways, we've got the little castle house thing there. We've got two gardens now. And we've got the selling slash making hut. I don't know what else to call it. This little shed thing with the open front where you can... Right now I just have the desk decorated with plant decorations and things like that. Obviously, once Enchanted by Nature comes out, you just delete all of those things and that spellcaster's desk, because that's just a regular desk. It doesn't do anything fancy. It's just for putting stuff on and placing a chair next to, whereas the apothecary desk or table will actually be a workbench thing. So you just get rid of all that stuff, put the apothecary table bench thing there, or whatever it'll be called, and then you have the stove and the selling table, and you're good to go to create herbal remedies for everything from the new ailments to the stuff needed for outdoor retreat, like bug repellent, bug spray, that kind of stuff. You know, to be honest, and I think I mentioned this in one of my other videos, I haven't ever really played much with the herbalism. Yeah, the herbalism stuff from Outdoor Retreat. I haven't really used it. I go camping every now and then in Granite Falls. Is it Granite Falls? Can't remember. But I don't collect bugs or anything. I don't know what all would be needed. Probably should do that before Enchanted by Nature comes out, so I can see how these things work together, how they might not work together. We don't know yet. I'm really hoping they will. But I know one of them is bug repellent. That's the only one I can remember is the bug repellent, though. You can make, I think it's like maybe fire leaf or something and something else, and you can make a bug repellent to repel the bugs, in the camping area. But I don't know if it works on other bugs. Like, we don't really have a lot of other bugs in the game except Mount Komorebi. If you go on a hike in Mount Komorebi, you can, I think, get attacked by bugs. Does it and would it help there? I think there's another bug repellent that you can use there potentially. It's either been too long since I played that one, or I know I've taken my Sims on hikes there. I just don't remember what it was like. It's been so long now. We have so many packs, and it's been so long since some of the packs that I play with the most have come out that I don't really remember them. Mostly I just spend my time building little suburban houses that would be great for disabled and elderly people. Just saying. I'm just putting it out there. Sims team. It would be great for disabled people, elderly people, even this. Even this would be a semi-okay house for disabled fairies. I mean, certainly the first floor and the second floor. If the fairy were to, say, break a wing or something, they could still use the bottom floor and the second floor. They just, actually, no, I did include a ladder. So the third floor also is accessible by ladder. See? So even disabled fairies, if they have broken wings or whatever, can use this house. It's always on my mind. I can't help it. Otherwise, I would have just made something. Ooh, that gives me an idea. What about building a birdhouse type house? Like one that only the fairies can get into and they have to fly up to and stuff. Would that be weird or would that be fun? I think it might be fun. We should probably try doing that once Enchanted by Nature comes out. Anyway, back to this build. This is obviously the bathroom, and it is massively big. Unfortunately, it kind of has to be. I didn't want to add a square on to this space, and the circle tower portions of the original were too small to cut off. You saw at the beginning of the video, maybe I cut that part out, where I did try to cut one of them in half so that part could be a bathroom and then part could just be like a hallway or something. These circles are much smaller than they look, and I don't know, there's just something weird about the scale of The Sims 4 where this bathroom is massive. I guess if I had a staircase in the middle, the bathroom wouldn't fit quite as well. But you'll see in a minute. The kitchen I really struggled with because it doesn't really fit. but there's a staircase in the middle of that circle. And looking at this, it looks like each of these circles are absolutely like huge. But when you look at the kitchen one, they look really small. So yeah, I don't know. The bathroom is weird. My daughter did come in and try to help me fix it, but it's just a little bit too large to do anything with the center of it. Or, excuse me, it's a little bit too small to do anything with the center of it, but it's also like weirdly large. If you look at the size of the toilet, it you can tell kind of the size of your sim in that room, what they're gonna look like, and yeah, it's definitely a larger bathroom than is necessary, but you know what? It's a fairy house and we work with what we have, right? So, I don't know, maybe something fun, some kind of sculptural thing will come with Enchanted by Nature that you can put in the center. I wanted to put a fountain in the center, but even the smallest fountain that we have in the game is just a little bit too big for the center, and there would not be a walkway for your Sims to use the bathroom, or the tub, I mean, excuse me. So, yeah, we need something that's just one tile ish. Yeah, I think about one tile. You can't really see from here, but there's really only a one tile space in the center that you can use so that you have a walk space around the perimeter. But that one empty tile in the center just makes it look so massive and empty. Anyways, enough complaining about the bathroom. I'm sure I'll complain about the kitchen when that comes around. The other rooms were great and easy, and I loved doing them. Just the bathroom and the kitchen is what really threw me off. She also helped me by suggesting things that I could put in there to make the bathroom look fuller, with even that big massive center space open and unused, and that did help quite a bit actually, and it's very in tune with what's going on with the whole build. Tons of plants and that kind of stuff just all over the place, so that did help quite a bit. And here we are working on the sitting area. I did not include a thermostat. I figure your fairies are probably going to be spending a lot of time outside unless it's raining a lot or snowing, potentially. I don't know. Do we know? Do we think we know how fairies might react to cold and snow? My guess is that Innisgreen is going to be much like Ravenwood, except instead of being perpetually stuck in early fall, it's probably going to be perpetually stuck in late spring as far as the visuals go. Ravenswood does get somewhat warm in the summer, though it doesn't get as warm and as frequently as, say, Sulani does. And it does get cold in the winter, but not... Well, I guess your Sims can still freeze to death, because I did almost have a Sim freeze to death in Ravenwood once in the winter. But, like, that's late fall weather. I assume that's normal. I mean, where I live, that would be normal. No, because it's like early fall, not even late fall. It's like really early fall where the leaves are mostly green still, but you do have some, like, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think Ravenswood looks fall-like at all. I'd have to go back in and play now that I think about it. I don't remember, but that's what they described it as, was like a perpetual fall place. So I assume Innis Green is going to be similar, but perpetually spring or summer like place, if that makes sense. So who knows what winter's gonna be like. Although your fairies, honestly, they could live anywhere, including Henford on Bagley. That's like the most perfect place for them, and it does snow there, so I'm just gonna assume that fairies are like all other Sims, and they react the same way to the cold as any other Sim would under any other circumstances. So at this point, I'm still using ladders for everything, and I think it was at the point where I decided that we needed some kind of children's space. I decorated it for children or teenagers, but I also knew that it needed to be able to accommodate infants and toddlers as well. And I'm almost 100% sure, like I'm fairly certain that they can't use ladders and your Sims can't carry them while going up and down ladders. I've never seen it, so that doesn't mean it really truly like can't happen at all, but I've never seen it. I've never seen anyone do it, so I'm fairly certain it can't be done. That's why I put the staircase right in the center, and that's why the kitchen is weird like it is, because there is like those little circles, like I said, they look humongous, but they're actually kind of small, and there's not a lot of space in them. So I did the best I could. Hopefully you're okay with it. It's a little bit of a wonky kitchen, but it was either that or move the kitchen potentially upstairs or move the sitting area upstairs. And actually, the kitchen wouldn't have worked upstairs either because you still have the space in the center where the staircase opens up to the upstairs. So, kitchen wouldn't have worked there any better than down here. Guess I could have moved the kitchen over to where the living room sitting area is and moved that upstairs, but as you'll see in a minute, and as looking at this, it really wouldn't have worked that well either, so yeah. It's a fairy house. It's a fairy castle. It's gonna have some quirks, okay? I think it turned out cute despite this little quirk of of the building, kitchen and bathroom area. Anyways, moving on. We're getting into the good part now. Well, the outside is like the really good part, but I mean, as far as indoor stuff goes, we're getting to the good part. We've got a room right here that is like a skill building slash hangout room slash hobby room. And then right next to that is the children's bedroom. And right above the children's bedroom, via the ladder, is the parents' bedroom. Some areas I decorated with more plants and some areas less. I don't think I did it on purpose. I think it just kind of happened that way. Some areas more plants worked better, and some areas less plants worked better. Like in the bathroom, it worked really well because we had all that space. In the kids' room, it didn't work nearly as well because there are two big beds, two dressers, a toy box. There just wasn't as much space. I was hoping we'd get more hanging and wall hanging and ceiling hanging, both of them, plants in the new pack, but I didn't really see a lot. I mostly saw pots that sit on surfaces with plants in them, which kind of makes sense. And I'm not going to complain because we are getting live house plants, which is really fun, so I'm not going to complain too much. But for spaces like this kid's room, it would have been easier to have more hanging plants. But also at the same time, I thought, you know what? It's a kid's room, and are they really going to have a ton of plants in their room that they potentially have to take care of, or that their mom or dad has to come in and take care of all the time? Probably not. The majority of the plants are going to be in spaces like the bathroom where it's really humid and great for them, or in the parents' room where, they can water everything at once, or outside. The majority of the plants on this one are outside, obviously. I'm still hoping that the plant lover Sims will be happy with really landscaped yards and not just having house plants. I would love to have some kind of eco-friendly, off-the-grid, nature-loving sim who enjoys being outdoors and is like happy that their yard is well decorated. It would definitely give me a reason to up my landscaping game for sure. But I don't know, I just kind of want that. Like right now, they do have a preference, sort of. I mean, I don't think it works great, but they do have somewhat of a preference of whether their home is decorated well or not. And, well, is that the right word? Preference? No, probably not. They will let you know if your home is well decorated or not right now. And so I'm kind of hoping we'll get that with landscaping for outside. They'll let you know if they think you did a good job landscaping their yard. That's what I was trying to say. Anyways, we're pretty much done with the speed build part. It's now time to go on to the walkthrough. We just have one more thing, and then we can go to the walkthrough. There you have it. Oh, no, I forgot. I placed a couple more things in the yard. Then we can get to the walkthrough. As soon as we finish this little piece up here, add a couple of chairs somewhere at some point. There we go. Now we're done. This is why I chose this lot. There's the river back here, but then it's like all forest, like everywhere. And we've got this cute little spot right here. More river and lots more forest here. There's also, oops, sorry. There's also the castle ruins right here, so that's pretty fitting as well. But yeah, I thought this was a much more fitting lot to do this on. I should have brought a sim here so you could see it without... I should have brought a sim here so you could see it without the line around it, but this at least gives you an idea of where the lot is at. There are some things I didn't really show in the speed build that much, or I quickly moved over them, but I think you got the idea pretty well. I also added lightning bugs everywhere, excuse me. I also added lightning bugs everywhere. You can see the little chess table underneath this weeping cherry tree here. A little fun little elf? No, what? Where is my brain at today? Gnome with a little garden here outside the apothecary herbalism hut. We've got some seating area, a flower-filled fountain. Obviously, the garden all the way around the house. It basically looks like this all the way around the house with rocks and crystals and mushrooms. We've got one crystal here that glows at night. We've got the bird thing here. Here's another look at the side of the hut here. A little area to do laundry, lots more mushrooms. A second garden area back here for planting all your herbalism and apothecary plants back here. Another look at this area from behind. We've got the flower arranging table. I thought that would also be fitting to sell flower arrangements. But let's go around to the back so you can actually see it from behind as well. Get a little bit of a better look at it from back here. There's the garden from behind with crystals and rocks and mushrooms and everything. And like I said, it's basically the same all the way around. Anywhere where two of the towers came together, I just put two of those larger shrubs. I did try to use some vines and stuff, but being that these rooms are all circular, it was really hard to put the vines on without them looking odd. So I ended up skipping the vines. I'm hoping maybe we get something with Enchanted by Nature that could fill that empty space where vines should be able to grow. But anyways, here's a look back at the front again. I think, personally, tooting my own horn here, I outdid myself with this one. Just saying, I'm pretty proud of this one. This one turned out really well, especially the yard. And so we enter in, and this is the kitchen here. We've got a sink and a fridge with some plants. Your Sims can walk back here to use the stove and the workspace. Just lots of plants and flowers and things around. Then if we enter in here, we've got books, plenty of seating area, lots of candles, a tea set, you know, the usual for a sitting area, knitting, crocheting, lots of fun stuff. I thought the butterflies were a fitting touch. Here is that bathroom. We've got an open shower, tub, toilet, tons and tons of plants. I think bathrooms are perfect for plants because they're moist and humid, and so it's perfect for plants. And it's such a big room that, yeah, I don't know, maybe we'll find something to do with it. But anyways, you go back out to the kitchen by the front door and you can head upstairs. And yes, I did test all of the house, including the beds and everything. The entire house works. You can light the fireplace, you can sit in the rocking chair, you can play chess. It's kind of like a little family room here, I guess. Hobby, family room, whatever. And then the kids' space here. Toys, clothes, beds. I mean, what more could they ask for, right? And then if we go up the ladder here and turn around, we have the parents' bedroom. Lots of flowers here, not as many in the kids' room. Like I said, I think it's just easier this way if you're dealing with live plants. Obviously, these ones aren't live plants yet, but we're getting some with the pack. So yeah, this is definitely, having them concentrated in a few areas is better than all over the place. It will take you forever to water. Trust me, I know, my house is full of plants. Even in real life, it takes forever to water. It's almost annoying, honestly. So there we have it. I hope that you guys really truly enjoy this lot. I worked so hard on this one. I worked on this for days. I am so proud of it. I think I've really started to blossom, if you will, in the landscaping department. So yeah, I mean, I know it sounds silly, but I am kind of proud of myself for this one. So, if you could give me a little like, maybe think about subscribing, leave a comment on what your favorite part of this build is, what parts you think could use something else. that would make it look a little bit better. If you think it's too cluttered, not cluttered enough, let me know down in the comments. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.